for your not famous internet personalities and feel the power. It's the C Show, yes it is. Play the music, Fuckboy Ali. Rockton, who is some old guy. Mega Fighter, who has fucked a chicken. And Rob, who is a bitch.
And Nick!
Let's review WWE Battleground.
See, I added Mick. Yeah, Mick's here, yeah.
We found him.
Turn this shit off. I am not trying anymore. Sorry we're late for the Battleground review. I had a fuckload of work.
We're all very busy people.
As did we all.
Yes.
Yes. I love doing 5 days in a row, then getting a day off, and then doing 5 days in a row. And this time with a double thrown in for fun.
I got 4. Yeah, I have just several nights in a row each week.
So
I'm basically
I'm so tired, but I wanted to just, let's fucking do this, you know? Like, I feel like shit, and I don't want to, but fuck it, we're doing it.
So let's talk about...
So what you're saying is that you watched Battleground then?
Yeah. It's sort of the equivalent of shooting heroin. It's the equivalent of shooting heroin in the bathroom. You have to.
Everyone here is working. Meanwhile, I'm unemployed.
You'll get a job soon, and then you'll not be happy. But you'll make money, so it's fine.
Don't work at KFC.
It's like several weeks and hours of miserableness, and then a day where you're happy, and then the happiness dies.
I'm just gonna tell anyone there are always openings in security. Being a security guard, one of the easiest jobs in the world.
I just have to listen. I just have to listen to people bitch.
I don't even have to listen to people. I just sit in a parking lot.
You in the parking lot?
I sit in the parking lot for 12 hours, and then I go home at 8 in the morning and go to sleep.
You know what's funny, Mick? Is that's actually a job that I'm trying to get, is working a parking lot attendant.
And all of this is more interesting than Battleground.
Can you tell we're avoiding this?
Well, I'm personally not avoiding this. It's very rare that I see a show comes to me and it turns out to just be one of the worst of the year.
It's weird because it's SmackDown, and SmackDown's typically pretty good.
See, I think, yeah, that's the way it's been for a very long time, but I think this year Raw has been the better show by a very wide margin.
So the word is the reason that this show was so badly booked. As I originally thought, it has to be it had to be Vince decided to take over the booking of the show, and it does
Vince
feel
is always in charge of the booking.
Yeah, I know that he still signs off on everything, and he still has some influence, but ever since the brand split, it seemed to feel like he was keeping mostly hands off, and then the Randy Orton thing happened with the House of Horrors, and then Jinder Mahal, and it felt like
Randy Orton's House of Horrors.
I said that.
Is Charlie Haas coming back for the Hall?
I was about to say, I heard House of Horrors too.
I'm Charlie Haas, and I'm back.
I heard House of Horrors, and I was thinking, okay, so Randy Orton's gonna have another match with Kelly.
Wow.
This show is sponsored by Gatorade. Fucking sponsor me already, Jesus Christ.
You know what is? This show is also sponsored by the nice refreshing taste of 5-Hour Energy.
It's in me.
But it could be both. Gatorade isn't a rocket to your ass, and it tastes like shock.
Just cut the stomach burster scene from Alien and make the Alien Gatorade. That's what's going on right now in my body.
Free publicity right there.
Yeah.
Allie likes him some fierce grape.
Actually, this is fruit punch.
Okay.
Domestic violence. You know.
Of course.
So both the flavors that
Oh God. Allie is opted for death by Gatorade instead of watching.
Is it in you?
Oh
Here's
god,
what I
that
think
hurt.
Watching Battleground.
It went down the wrong hole.
I think thinking about this show is making Ellie sick.
Yeah, see,
Or it was the fact I choked.
I mean, here's the thing: is that like Battleground was bad. This is a pretty damn bad show, but like, I think in the grant it is a good
Delicious.
sign for the wrestling industry as a whole that I think for many this was the worst show of the year because I remember watching Victory Road
Weren't the other two Battlegrounds also shit that on the
Yeah, the
I
other
don't
two.
think a single Battleground is good.
Okay, wait. Okay, I actually looked this up. So
There's been like 5 of
Battleground
them.
has been voted worst major wrestling show 2 years in a row. The shows in question were both pretty bad, but they at least had solid main events, which this show did not.
all this show had was a promo that has Carmella with the word trash on her face.
Yeah, and the tag match, like the show opened well and then like skidded off the rails. I think the other Battlegrounds afterwards were like after like the second worst show of the year were better, but like still not like great.
Okay,
I was now that you're talking about this, Mick. I was just actually curious to look up what the matches were for the previous Battlegrounds. First year, Dolph Ziggler versus Damian Sandow. Del Rio versus Rob Van Dam in a hardcore match for the World Heavyweight title. Real Americans versus Santino and Great Khali. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay,
Oh,
well,
no.
The first one sounded good. That one not so much.
Curtis Axel with Paul Heyman against R-Truth for the Intercontinental title.
I forgot that
Yeah.
fucking Paul Heyman was with Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
AJ
we all did.
AJ Lee with
Hey,
Tamina against Brie with Nikki Bella in her corner for the Divas title. Cody Rhodes and Goldust defeated the Shield.
That was a good match. That was probably the best match on that show.
Oh yeah, was that the match where the Rhodes brothers finally?
Yes.
When
This was the-
they first
The
teamed up.
Beer was
that
on
was-
the line.
Yeah.
There was a stipulation where if the Shield won, Dusty would lose his job as NXT trainer, and the Rhodes family would be terminated.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
All right, so moving on with the 2017 show, we will start from square one. The pre-show match of Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger. And now we're moving on to the first match, which is the tag team match between the Usos and the
None
New
of us
Day.
fucking watched the pre-show.
We forgot. I'm sorry.
Like,
We're sorry,
I'm
Ty
not-
Dillinger. Forgive
I'm
us.
not exactly champing at the bits to see Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger. I'm sorry.
I didn't know they
Like-
fired fucking Aiden English's tag team partner.
Simon
Simon
Gotch.
Gotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Alright,
Was it because he fought fucking Sin Cara?
Sin Cara.
He fought
That's part of the
everybody,
reason.
apparently.
no
Fighting
I heard
around the
this-
world.
I actually heard the story about it.
Oh
Apparently,
my
he just
god,
like
he should be Russell Crowe and fighting around the world.
apparently he just like made a really like awkward comment backstage that got him into a lot of trouble.
Oh boy.
Also,
I just like
yeah,
to believe that
apparently
Simon
he's an
Gotch just tried to
asshole.
fight everybody.
And yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
that was also true. But like, I don't know. I know that Simon Gotch is going to be in Jakara's King of Trios now, so like, which on the one hand he's getting work, on the other hand it's for Chikara, so I don't think it's really.
I mean,
a lot.
if the gimmick fits, if he keeps it.
Yeah.
I gotta admit,
Um,
I'm very disappointed that he chose the name Simon Grimm, though. Like, come on, he couldn't be like Simon Hackenschmidt or Simon Fez.
Anyways,
Okay, so Usos versus the New Day.
This match was super good.
the only good match on the card, honestly.
Yeah.
Usos are like 80% the way into working a legit heel like wrestling style. They keep doing these random taunts that are like crowd reaction Uso taunts. Like, ooh! That's like, you're not supposed to do that, you're heels.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but like heel and face, like heel face, it's all just a social construct.
Oh God.
My,
Wonderful.
Like my main thing is that like I'm just very happy that the Usos are doing so well because like I remember watching them like a long time ago. Where I'm like, these guys should be like these guys really should be more like popular and like actually have the tag titles.
Well,
So
the biggest problem was they were boring.
they
Yeah,
were
before
very
they
boring.
turned heel, they were very boring.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the cool entrance for a while. That
They
was
got
Metallica.
they had the haka, but that's it.
yeah,
Yeah,
but then
they
they had no
were-
personality.
Yeah, until they went heel, they didn't have like any
They couldn't
sense
cut,
of
cut
personality
promos.
or
They're
character
better
behind.
they're better badmen than their dad, who just put his butt on people still.
They're bad men
like,
doing bad things.
I think honestly like that the Usos are like have been showing a lot of growth over the course of their careers now. Like, and I gotta say like bravo to them for kind of coming into their own as heels and as a tag team.
It sounds like a mean thing to say, but I think it's a good thing. I think they extended their careers by at least 3 or 4 years by doing this.
Definitely,
not
absolutely.
amazing.
Like
That's a
I
good
feel
thing.
like I feel like they were in danger of going the way of Primo and Epico in a lot of ways.
You mean
and
nowhere?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way.
You know
The-
what's funny is the New Day and the Usos have wrestled each other like what
Hundreds of times.
hundreds of times at this point, but
More like dozens
some-
if you don't want hyperbole.
for some reason these two wrestle so well with each other that every time I see them, it's a great match, and they still find ways occasionally to keep it fresh enough that it doesn't feel like you're watching the same match every time they're out there.
Yeah, I
Well,
gotta give him kudos for that.
And I think part of that is because like the New Day and the Usos, especially when you like with this New Day of Woods and Kingston, who were the ones who were fighting in the match, they're all I think very versatile workers.
I forgot they changed like the New Day setup and Big E was out, but Xavier was in.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because like Xavier Woods spent so long on the sidelines that it almost was like
You forgot he was a decent wrestler.
yeah, he kind of became an accessory to the New Day, and I think they're like, oh shit, like, and I mean everybody's gonna remember Big E, like
He's
a hard
big.
guy to
He's-
yeah,
Big
made
and
of
wonderful.
glass. Like,
And he-
everybody remembers Big E.
And he has that big booming voice, and he's
Yeah, that
basically-
big booty.
And ever since the New Day started, he's basically been playing Eddie Murphy as the preacher from Coming to America.
I mean, there's also just the
Or
fact
no,
that Big
no,
E-
wait, well, no, I actually was that Murphy or was that
Murphy played a lot of roles.
I know
Murphy
I'm
did
trying to
everything.
remember if that was Murphy or if that was
It doesn't really matter.
Like if you
the
wanted
other guy.
for
I
a,
can't remember who it was.
for
now.
for a
It's a
while,
movie trivia podcast. It's a wrestling.
I was gonna
podcast.
say for a while, if you wanted a funny black guy in a movie, you got Eddie Murphy because the other guys were either dead or irrelevant
yeah.
Yeah.
Or Chris
The
Rock.
thing is that
until
The
like
thing
other
is
people
that-
came around.
I mean, honestly, I think that this match proved good payoff to a pretty lackluster finish for Money in the Bank, and it was just kind of one of those things. It was nice to see
The New Day finally get their big win.
I hope their title reign doesn't go the same way as their last one, where they're just defending against the same people to extend the run to break a record.
There is a problem where I think they don't have enough tag teams right now.
No.
Yeah.
Because they've
Especially after
broken up.
brand split.
They just
Yeah.
broke up two of their big face teams.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they broke it. Well, and I think that's why they gave it to the New Day. It's like they broke Enzo and Cass.
Maybe if the Ascension had a better run.
Yeah, I could see the authors of Pain being brought up soon to like feud
I
with them.
don't think that's a good idea.
No. But,
Didn't
like,
they give that guy a fucking concussion by powerbombing him on top of another guy?
Oh, but
Yeah.
in the DIY match?
Yeah.
No, different match. Two jobber guys fought the office team.
or trying to think of like any other like heel tag teams. I guess the Revival. Maybe?
Sanity.
Sanity.
Right. I forget it. I keep forgetting about them. I don't watch NXT that much.
Eric Young's great.
Well, there
Young
is
is
there is the club.
Right.
Yeah, the club aren't doing anything.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Carl Anderson's trying to get drafted to SmackDown anyway.
Draft me.
Yeah, so it could be one with Maria's ass.
it is. It's a sad state of affairs when we have to say the club's not doing anything.
They're the Bullet Club, or they
I'm glad
at least used to be.
Yeah.
I hope they're making a lot of money because they're definitely not being used nearly as well as they used to be.
Also, can I note how happy I am to see the return of Consequences Creed?
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah, the America outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xavier Woods looked like shades of Consequences Creed from TNA.
That was him.
That was him.
Well, I know it is him. That's
Yeah.
the point.
They're the same person. Ah!
Are you kidding me?
Well, the thing is, we haven't seen Xavier Woods and Consequences Creed in the same place.
God, you're right.
You're gonna tell me that Sami Zayn fellow is El Generico, which
And
I
we
know
never
is
saw,
not true.
and we never saw Jay Lethal and Randy Savage in the same room either.
Oh.
Come to think of it,
Wow.
I've never seen Ric Flair and the Black Scorpion in the same room together.
That one kind of went over my head, Mick.
That's it. Yeah, there's your old one.
I've never seen Mr. America and Hulk Hogan in the same room together.
No,
That's 'cause
no,
they're
we
different
know,
people.
we know that
Yeah.
he was Mr. America. He took off his mask on a house show, and that proved it. Then he was fired.
Yeah.
They were both fired.
And speaking of,
And who is Juan Cena?
Speaking of which, I haven't seen Suicide in the same room as T.J. Perkins, Christopher Daniels, Kazuchika Okada, and 3 other guys.
Caleb Conley. Okada really? Wait,
I haven't seen Edge and Christian in the same room as the El Conquistadors.
Los Conquistadors, yes.
Los Conquistadors.
That's not true. They were in the same room.
Oh my god, I think they did do an angle with them.
Yeah. That was because Los Conquistadors were Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels the whole time.
Oh yes, of course.
God damn it.
Okay.
Okay,
So we're getting off track again.
Yeah. So it's because the next match is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin, and we don't want to talk about that.
I just want to quick mention there. There was a spot in this match that
Wait, what match are we talking about? Oh, Kofi. Okay.
the tag match.
Kofi?
I just want to finish with it. There was a weird spot where Kofi and Xavier Woods did like a tag team maneuver, and they called it the Midnight Hour, and I'm like going, that's not the Midnight Hour.
Anything
though.
involving the New Day together is a midnight hour. Damn it.
I think it's under different tag partner rules. You can call it the same thing. I feel like didn't the Spirit Squad have a move that they did with alternating partners that was also called the same thing?
I don't know. Ask Dolph Ziggler.
Wait,
As far as I know, the Spirit Squad always had the same finisher, and their finisher was that really lame thing where they grabbed one guy as a group and they lifted it up, and like they would sort of lift him up and down and then slam him.
Hooray!
okay, I think I know what you're talking about. It was like a pendulum backbreaker into a double stomp, right? Like they put him on his.
No, it was like they sort of stretched the guy out. They kind of wiggled him up and down, and then they slammed him down again.
Okay, no, that's not. Yeah,
It's like hip hip hooray, drop.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say I thought that was like they mistakenly called the up down the Midnight Hour, but no.
I don't know. I don't think it was like it might have not been their finish when they were actually doing tag matches, but I know that they used it as like a way to beat down people.
Okay. Oh god, son yawned there.
Alright. Anyway,
So Shinsuke versus Baron.
How is this match not good? Baron's getting better and Shinsuke's great.
I
So-
think the big problem, the problem with this match is this is a case of the match ended before I got a chance to get going.
Oh my god, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think part of the other problem was Baron Corbin was with all those fucking bear hugs.
Yeah,
Because,
like, he spent like 3 or 4 minutes trying to submit Shinsuke with a bear hug.
I mean, and it seems like this is kind of a thing. Like, just because Brock Lesnar does only one move throughout the match doesn't mean that every other heel on the roster needs to do the same thing.
I'm gonna hug you.
Also,
But here's the weird thing, like, Shinsuke can win because Baron has the briefcase and he can take a loss. It's fine.
Yeah, like it was.
Shinsuke hasn't won any of his pay-per-view matches except maybe Dolph
The
Ziggler.
problem with every
Well, he
other
technically won this match.
Well, he got one. He won by being kicked in the dick.
Yes.
The
That's
problem
still-
with every Money in the Bank holder for the past, I don't know, however many years, before has been that they lose.
He
a
kicked
lot.
me in the dick.
Like, whenever someone gets the Money in the Bank briefcase, they go on a losing streak.
And it's and it's almost always the heel.
Well, yeah.
I don't think he
briefcase
should.
is
I don't think he
super
could be on a losing streak. He doesn't need to win every match.
No, that's
And I
all
mean-
I'm saying. Is that
Because he has the
for some
briefcase.
reason, the guys who have the briefcase, who are inevitably the next world champion, with 2 exceptions.
Poor Damien Sandow.
Yep.
Oh god.
I feel like that should have gone to Cody, to be honest.
It
But
really should have been Cody.
Cody, I feel, was on the cut.
Yeah.
Like, I like Sandow, but I feel like it's
Like if the main event was a bowling club and they checked IDs at the front, the briefcase is his ID. That's how you get in the main event.
Yeah, but like, I feel like the metaphor falls apart though because it's like I don't think people like throw their ID and then rush into the bowling club and steal someone's lane.
Well, Shinsuke's
no.
bowling and then he just gets kicked in the dick.
You know something else that we should mention about this pay-per-view is, other than pops for the entrance and a few scattered pops, I think the most loud noise we got was the tag match. Overall, the crowd was so dead.
Yes.
Which
Um,
is
not-
so weird. This is Philadelphia.
Okay, but like this is Philadelphia, but like here's the thing: they were given like nothing matches in this paper.
I understand that, but usually
Philadelphia would be fucking, like, they'd be going all out with going to some really dark places for their
they'd be
promo.
stealing the fucking show.
Yeah, you would think,
Like,
you would
here's
think Philly
the
would be
thing, though.
Philly. This is the same place. Philly has the fucking Hammerstein Ballroom. You would think that their fans would be shitting all over this and making fun of it.
The question is, I guess I'm wondering is, are these hardcore fans that would shit all over the show, like a bad show, like, are they really the kind of people that would want to go? Like, I don't know, like, is this the same audience that WWE is courting? Because I almost think that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, because the last event I remember in Philly was the 2015 Royal Rumble, where not only did they boo Roman Reigns out of the building, but, like, I think they got very close to having an actual riot outside of the stadium.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might have embittered a lot of those hardcore fans, like, to the WWE product, that maybe they just didn't come to Battleground.
I didn't want to say this too early, but after a couple of months, I think they're using Shinsuke wrong, which is really
Yes.
hard to do, because if you watched him do his entrance and get into the ring, you, like, 90% of the people think, oh, this guy's cool. Like,
Yeah. I think the thing, like, part of the I think it's a twofold problem, where it's like, they're not booking Shinsuke very well because he hasn't really done anything.
no.
Like, they're not really, this thing with Baron Corbin is the closest thing that he has to a feud, and it's not even, like,
He fought Dolph Ziggler for a bit, and
Shinsuke,
like, yeah, but, like,
Shinsuke. I want to. Sorry, go ahead.
like, yeah, I think he's barely in storyline, like, in any, like, big storylines, and I mean, maybe that might just be because he's still kind of, like, having to grasp it, like, speaking English. 'Cause-
in interviews, his English is all right. It's like
okay, then
passable.
Then I guess they just don't want him to talk.
the only problem is his mouth guard gives him a big fucking lisp, and he should probably take it out in talking segments.
But like
Shinsuke.
Bobby Lashley has a lisp all the time, and he's a 4-time world champion.
True,
TNA.
but it's TNA.
Seriously, You know what Shinsuke has that like few wrestlers have.
I think he has.
In terms of like he's like a Hulk Hogan. He's almost like a Hulk Hogan, like a Rock or a Stone Cold.
He has some
or
of the
a Undertaker. He has like this fucking aura.
He,
Like this
I think
aura of charisma and it just
I
just being around him is you just can't. You're just in awe of him.
I think it's probably because he has some of the best body language I've seen in a wrestler in like a long time. You know exactly what he's thinking just because he's moving.
And I think the other thing that with like about Shinsuke Nakamura like not being used right, it's like I'm also like not. I'm pretty sure that he's not giving 100% in like most of his matches because it's like I mean. He is like 37 years old and is like not and like
And he worked Japan for a long time.
Yeah, and he worked in New Japan and like
I mean, to be fair,
like
he's
14 years.
Even if he was being careful, I think he'd still be good psychology wise. Yeah. And he doesn't have to beat the shit out of people to win.
I don't think he's necessarily I don't know, like I don't know. I guess
I think the bigger problem is this. He's spinning his wheels until when the big four pay-per-views happen where they AJ.
Yeah.
I do like the match on an upcoming SmackDown though of him versus John Cena.
Oh yeah, him versus John.
Oh my god, that's like
I'm surprised they're doing that match on TV. Like,
by the way, there was a joke I found where it's like, explain this to someone in 2014, John Cena versus Shinsuke for a chance to fight Jinder for the championship.
Yeah, they probably...
Just the fact alone that Shinsuke and Cena are wrestling each other is just astounding.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's... No.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like, I don't think that... I don't know, like, what's going through Nakamura's head, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he's like just not as like willing to give 100% like in America as he was in Japan.
He's just coasting.
Yeah,
I don't think that's the issue because he watches NXT matches.
They were really good.
Not holding anything back.
Yeah, I mean, who really knows? I think I don't. With Shinsuke, I'm still like waiting to see kind of how it all pans out because I still feel like time will tell exactly like if it's the booking, if it's him, if it's his opponents, or like.
I just don't want him to get tajiri'd. Where
I heard JR and Stone Cold basically saying like it's like they pretty much agree with you guys and like there's potential there. They're just not using them correctly.
Yeah, and I think maybe like I don't think he's gonna get tajiri'd because I mean Nakamura is a much bigger star, I think, and just like
I don't underestimate Vince.
I mean, yes, I do. I'm not saying that there's no potential for him to be underutilized, but like, who knows?
How are we? I mean, Samoa Joe is great and all.
Yes, he is.
How are we not getting Nakamura versus Brock Lesnar? The story writes its fucking self.
That would be.
Nakamura beat Samoa or Brock Lesnar before, so yeah.
Yes.
The only reason we're not is because they're on separate brands. And
I know.
Well, and also I think with.
I thought Brock didn't really have a brand.
Like, well, he has the.
Well, he's
the
Universal Champion.
Oh, okay.
But I think with the story writing itself, it's like I think that would require kind of. I think that would require acknowledging happenings in New Japan, which I'm not sure if they're like.
No, they've acknowledged the
IWGP.
I mean, yes, they've acknowledged the belt. I don't know. It just seems like. I don't know if they used that story necessarily, but I think.
I think they also used ROH footage for the Seth Rollins documentary.
I know that
They've also acknowledged Bullet Club and AJ Styles.
Although, from what I understand, there's another superstar shakeup coming already. Like that.
Well, because
It felt like they even haven't let this one settle yet.
Well, it's because
given it time to really settle in, and they're shaking it up again.
I mean, I think part of that's because SmackDown is in kind of like, it's not in a very like good position right now in terms of talent.
Well, it's because they took Paige and Jordan.
Dean Ambrose and Miz away, and who did they give SmackDown?
Well,
Wyatt.
here to be fair, this is and I agree with Phoenix here. When it doesn't honestly, it really doesn't matter who SmackDown gets because of who they have on their writing, because their writing team is actually competent and can take limited talent and take them place, and can go.
SmackDown's a pretty good show. It's just this pay-per-view feels like a weird fever dream that I had.
I want to go back to this because I kind of went into it, but I didn't finish it. Apparently, their main writer, Ryan
Ward,
did not write this pay-per-view. It was Road Dogg.
Oh boy, Road Dogg.
Road Dogg, I think, kind of sucks.
So, like, I think the thing about the Superstar shakeup, what I can see the reasoning behind it, is that when Jinder Mahal was #1 contender, I kind of had like there was kind of this realization of like, why would they give it to Jinder? And it's like because Kevin Owens was tied up with the US belt, SmackDown doesn't have a whole lot of like main event heels. Like they don't have a whole lot of like whoever takes the title off Jinder. It's like I think the next would be most likely either Kevin Owens, Baron Corbin, and like maybe Rusev. So,
it's gonna be John Cena, Mick. It's gonna be John Cena.
Okay, yeah. So, but
I'd be okay with
you
it.
see that lineup of like top heels, and that's a pretty thin lineup. And I don't think the situation with faces is really that much better because you have.
Please draft Finn Balor to SmackDown. Please draft.
Yeah,
Finn Balor.
that's what I was thinking.
Please
It's like
draft Finn Balor.
He's feuding with fucking Elias Sampson.
Yeah,
I mean,
fuck that dude.
That's I think of the first thing that Finn Balor should go to SmackDown because SmackDown is in need of kind of like something to bolster the main event and like because like this show, if this show has proven, they need to start getting some more compelling talent.
And of course, as Mega Fighter said before, Carl Anderson has to come to SmackDown. He's really eager to come.
Yeah,
he's trying to get drafted.
There.
You know what it almost sounds like is like they would almost need to turn Randy Orton heel again in order to have a main event heel.
Maybe or like I don't. I mean, I also just think that Orton's at a point in his career where it's like, can he really keep like? He's kind of like getting up there in age. It's like they need to start like building new stars soon.
That and I think he's in a creative dead end with his character.
Absolutely.
They had something really with him and Bray Wyatt.
And then he went back to Randy Orton default.
Mm-hmm. Like that's the thing. Like he's definitely like this year has been a very poor year for Orton in terms of like character and match work.
That tag team run.
Yeah. Like
as soon as
they need to bring back Luke Harper back. Fucking hell.
Oh yeah. Luke Harper would be a really good fit for the main event.
As soon as they like did the WrestleMania match, Randy Orton moved the shaker.
Yeah, that match was pretty terrible.
Is Luke Harper injured right now?
No, he's okay.
Fuck is Harper?
I think they're just not using him.
Yeah. Same thing with Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan, same thing.
I mean, I can understand not using Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
But not using Luke Harper? What is wrong with you?
He's one of the better wrestlers.
Yeah, he's a good big man. I don't.
He's a great big man.
Like, so
that's
yeah,
the
Luke
problem with WWE.
Wait, Luke Harper's on SmackDown and they didn't use him once?
Nope.
Let's list all the
here's
the really good wrestlers that aren't doing shit. Rusev, Finn Balor, well, Nakamura kind of.
Yeah, he's doing.
He's okay.
He's doing something. Yeah.
Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if like this Baron the Shinsuke
Bray
thing-
Wyatt kind of too.
Yeah, Bray
Oh,
Wyatt's been
Bray-
doing nothing since he lost.
Bray Wyatt, yeah, that Bray Wyatt Seth Rollins feud was one of the most pointless feuds ever.
I'm a god. No, you're not. That's
Like,
it.
no, I think the main thing about it was like, you ever get that moment when like you're like doing like e-booking and then like you forget to put two guys on a show and you're like, oh, do something.
Dance.
Oh, I also realized we've kind of gotten a little off track in terms
Yeah,
of like.
I was gonna say this show's weird. We're not talking about the matches. We're talking about like how WWE's handling each person.
Well, until we get to the last two matches, that's
So
pretty much.
so the question becomes then: do we want to do this match by match, or do we just have an abstract discussion about
Hey,
WWE?
I have all
That's
these.
gonna last forever.
I have all these pictures, so I'm gonna use them.
You have the pictures, okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
next
women's
match
fi-
is
women's
Natalia-
five-way.
Women's five way.
Natalia versus Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Lana versus Tamina Snuka for the #1 contender.
Oopsie. There we go.
Oh, hold on. He's gotta get the next picture.
Also, the women's championship was not defended on this show.
Yeah,
Naomi came out and she was on commentary and she sucks.
Yeah, not.
She
Not
can't.
indoor voice John Cena, but
You know,
She's just boring as a talker. That's
it's
my
not
problem.
Defended, but at least, yeah, the title's not being defended, but at least it's a match that's leading to a title match, so that's fine.
But it's
fine
weird
with that.
because she has this kind of character that's all about like self-expression and like showing off her like interests and shit. But when she talks, she's fucking boring.
Naomi.
I don't. Is that?
Naomi's.
That
Roxanne,
does not seem like her character
Roxanne,
at
you're-
all. All I know is she glows. That's it.
that's what glowing is about, self-expression.
express,
She's a walking-
express
Her
yourself,
character is
Rob.
like, I'm a walking rave party.
Express
without the
yourself,
drugs.
Roxanne.
See, but like I think though the entrance.
Jeff Hardy expressed himself, and he acted like it. Though to be fair, he was high as shit, but that's fine.
Also, Jeff Hardy can't cut a promo.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, he's been doing pretty well with the Hardys right
Matt,
now.
I've never thought Matt would be the better talker of the two of them.
Matt always to me, Matt always was though. Like Jeff Hardy was never really like. His strength was never the fact that he was a good talker. That like you always get a sense that it was him talking. Like Jeff Hardy's authentic, if nothing else.
Yeah. That was Jeff. That was the official Jeff Hardy.
But anyway, like
Codeine
so one of the,
included.
One of the things, so like one of the things about this match that was really weird was how fast the eliminations came.
Oh yeah. 3 eliminations happened within 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, Becky Lynch tapped out Tamina and Lana, and then
Becky Lynch
got,
looks great in this fucking match. By the
yeah,
way.
and then got rolled up by Natalia like shortly, like a couple seconds afterwards.
It was just like, Becky, we gotta wrap the match up. Eliminate the shitty wrestlers.
Oh yeah, that's
Becky
because that's
How
looks
dare
like
you.
obviously the #1 babyface female wrestler on SmackDown.
yeah.
And she's not doing shit besides her sort of tag team with Charlotte that can only end in one of betraying the other one.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I think at least this match made Becky Lynch look good enough such that she's in a good position to challenge later. Like, and I feel like at least with the fact that she tapped out 2 women almost like back to back and got pinned by a roll.
Oh, I
like,
love Becky just like going for the disarmer several times.
Yeah,
Like-
she was really hitting that disarmer.
Lana is not a good wrestler. She's too green.
No,
And
no, Lana is
Tamina
not
has
good.
Tamina has all right fundamentals, but she doesn't have a wrestling style.
The thing about Tamina.
In terms of, I'll give Lana this. Look, she did okay at the last pay-per-view. And this pay-per-view, she was in the ring with people who were just so much better than her.
Yeah.
You know what? The problem with her in this match is it seemed like she was kind of standing around and watching Tamina stomp on them. She wasn't
Yeah.
really doing anything.
Oh
She
yeah,
was
that was
Just stay a
just kind of
manager.
like she was just kind of like doing a lot of like vocal expressions and like doing taunting
Oh,
and stuff.
yee, ooh.
There was also like weird moments where I think people would like I don't know if it was Lana or someone else, but like they would go to break up pins when it was an elimination match.
Oh my god.
Like,
That's
which is-
always
which-
the worst thing.
Yeah.
Although
just
to be
like-
fair, I think that was Tamina breaking up Lana's pin.
Yeah.
Okay,
not
Tamina
Lana.
broke up one. That was it. I was trying to remember it. Like,
There is something I gotta give credit for in WWE, and the fact that they are at least attempting to make all the women stand out a little bit more compared to each other. Because imagine like 2009 WWE, and I bring up the girl with the big boobs, and you think of like 5 wrestlers, and then I'm like the black one, and then you think of 2.
this is the thing. Like, this is the thing. I will give WWE credit for building an actual women's division. Like, I think that they have done a very good job of at least making women's wrestling a part of their show in a way that is not like overly sexual and is not like just a distraction or a bathroom break.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this act felt like an actual match rather than just like, oh, ladies are out, time to stop caring.
This was
But,
a
like,
really good match, actually.
It's an alright match. I mean, the problem with I think a lot of the women on the roster is it feels like so many of their characters are just kind of one note.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
They're not allowing these girls to show their personalities out much at all, really.
Yeah, the ones with that outstanding personality. Becky, Charlotte, kind of.
Natalia, probably?
Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
Sasha Banks.
Sasha.
Sometimes Bailey.
Bailey is trying her damnedest. Emma, when she
Like-
has TVs.
Like when they're actually fucking booking her.
Yeah.
Poor woman.
Natalia never gets promo time.
No. Well,
To be fair, she's not great at it. Just
no,
like-
Natalia's not very charismatic. Which she won, by the way, just so everybody.
Yeah.
That's kind of a thing with the Hearts is like they've
with
never
the
been.
exception of Owen.
With the
Yeah,
exception of
yeah,
Owen
with
was
the exception of
good.
Owen.
and Tyson Kidd, technically.
Yeah.
Just, okay. If we're talking about the finish, about fucking time Natalia title shot.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
She deserves it.
I think. Yeah, I think that there's definitely that. I was happy to see that happen because Natalia's been there for a very long time.
She's had
Like,
one Divas title reign that had 2 defenses.
Yeah, like she's been in WWE. She's been working for WWE for like 10 years now.
She
And
is
she
the
had-
veteran of the women's division.
And she hadn't had like a title run in like forever.
No,
You know, one of my biggest problems with this match is not just like the fast eliminations. It's like in general the match seemed way too short and more shorter than it should have been. Like it could have used a little more time. And I think the biggest problem with that is what they could have used at that time is given the really good wrestlers more time to actually go at it.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
I-
what I would like to see more.
I saw a project that it was pretty much graphing out the length of each segment on the show, and it being like 15% to 20% wrestling, and like 30% commercials, 30% segments, that kind of shit. The women's match never has over 10 to 15 minutes at a time on the show, and I think one of the biggest problems is there's only one women's match per pay-per-view. There should be more than one.
and yeah, like
Good point.
they could have
Instead of having a fucking 5-way for the fucking title, they should have a feud between 2 wrestlers and a triple threat match with the good wrestlers for the title.
or you know what they could have taken one of the wrestlers out of the 5-way and make Naomi defends the title against her.
No,
and then they also have
Tamina. Tamina
Not
would have been
Tamina.
the better choice.
not
Okay,
to,
okay. I thought just taking Lana out of the match in general, and then
no, like, I'm not saying taking like when I say take someone out of the match, I don't mean like, oh, take the bad ones out. You could have like Becky Lynch versus Naomi, and then have the other 4 fight for the #1 contendership.
I'm just saying, Lana does not wrestle. That is like her
No.
claim to
What
fame.
is
Her
Carmella doing? She has the briefbriefs.
Hanging out
think
with
that-
James Ellsworth.
I could see that, like, she's
She
biding her
wasn't on the
time.
show.
She's biding her time.
look,
She didn't even have a promo.
look,
She's
Rob,
biding her time.
Rob,
I still have
Rob.
this.
There's wrestling time and there's fucking boy time. And you gotta make a choice.
It's time to choose.
You know,
So what you're saying is that somewhere in a hotel room, James Ellsworth is watching Big Cass fuck Carmella.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
can't
that's
teach
absolutely
that.
God.
James
You know what?
Ellsworth likes to
Someone-
watch.
Someone made a great point about the way, in general, that WWE books their elimination matches are terrible. That like, it's not just the quick string of eliminations that they do, but how easy they come by. Like, you can get hit with anything and get eliminated. It's that bad. Like, they can't. Why can't they get hit with a finish?
I forgot the finish was like Charlotte did a moon. Was it Charlotte? Charlotte did a moonsault. Got the knees up. Natalia got the knees up, and then kind of pulled her down so she bumped her head on the corner, and she pinned her.
Well, to be fair, that was
Actually a really good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
I
looked
mean,
like something that would end a match.
No.
Or they could
Like-
do a double team, or use like or take a signature and use it
Here's
like
see-
and pin it and use it as a finish pin.
Here's
Like
a
pin.
spot that okay, Nick, you go.
Well, yeah, I was just saying with Taraktan's point, it's like what they need is more moments like Elimination Chamber 2009, where John Cena gets hit with 3 finishers and then eliminated.
Okay, before we conclude this match, let's fuck John Cena up so he doesn't win. Good idea.
Yeah, like, well, like that. I don't know. I think that there is a solid point to that where it's like in a multi-person elimination match, you get moments where there's someone who's like the clear favorite and like how they reconcile those things. Same thing goes for any multi-person match with a champion involved. Like it's usually if the match doesn't immediately begin with them all champion, then I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
So here, this idea for a spot really doesn't apply in this match because of the fight, right? It really only applies to like Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
It's a spot I've seen used a few times in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and I'm wondering why it's never used in an elimination match, specifically a Survivor Series. The spot is you get yourself disqualified by beating the shit out of the other person, either with a weapon or they're in the rope.
And then it's just like, okay, you guys do the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it's well because in Survivor Series it's like you're a team, so like it doesn't matter if you get eliminated as long as you can ensure your team's victory. But
Yeah, but I really don't see that happening ever. Really.
yeah, that's true. Actually, let's.
In fact, even in 2 out of 3 falls matches, the one match I'm referring to, I believe, is Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that was that. There was a DQ spot.
I think Del Rio also did one during his match with Kalisto.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like,
I mean, like,
I
being with the
feel
ring
like
bell.
that could actually work if you're doing. That could be a really interesting storyline, like to kind of like go way off track for this review. Where if you have somebody who's
We've
like
already gone
For
there,
this
so
review?
Go ahead.
like with somebody who's in a stable or like has like a lackey or flunky who's like interfering with their matches, you could have it be like they have like a multi-man elimination match, and then like the lackey is part of the match because like the GM's like, oh, now you have to fight your best friend. What are you gonna do now? And then the lackey just gets himself disqualified by hitting someone with a chair, and then basically just like
Do that with the Singh brothers.
Yeah.
that could. Yeah, so that could actually be a pretty solid matchup, honestly.
Like if you
Or
have,
God forbid the Great Khali.
oh fuck
Oh,
no,
God, no.
fuck no.
We'll
Fuck.
get to him.
That man should not wrestle anymore. If Daniel
We'll get
Bryan
to
can't
that.
wrestle,
We're
that
gonna
guy
get to that, Mick.
Great
God
Khali
damn
We'll
it.
get to it. We'll get to
Gotta
it.
get to
Okay,
it.
so congratulations,
Gotta
Natalia.
get to it.
Congratulations, Natalia. You well deserved. Hopefully they don't shit the bed with you again.
They really
I
need to.
look-
They
I
really
look-
need to like give her a character though.
I look forward to seeing her take a loss on SmackDown to Naomi. Oh, I'm sorry, a house show. I guess that's a spot for title changes now.
Speaking
Hey,
of house shows,
Hey,
Speaking of house show title changes,
Yep.
how dare you insult Primo and Epico's
oh, these are in the wrong order. Sorry.
2012 WB Tag Team
Wasting
title
time.
victories.
Wasting time. I'm wasting your time now.
Oh my god.
Oh god,
Mega
that's
Fighter,
not
I
it
literally- I
either.
literally forgot
Wasting
that
time.
that even happened.
Wasting time.
I
I'm
will always
wasting
remember.
your time.
You will always
Like, no,
remember.
that's not it either.
Some
Wasting
people-
time.
some people
Wasting
remember
time.
Stone Cold Stone
Wasting.
Cold
Where the
Stone
fuck
Cold
is it?
Mega
Hold
Fighter
on.
remembers-
There we go.
Mega Fighter remembers Primo and Epico winning the tag titles on a house show. That was the
Of course I
defining
do.
moment as a wrestling fan.
what is?
What are you bitches want? What the fuck are you laughing at?
Look at the stream.
Screen.
I love how the hair fits perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh wow! Wow!
I like how you blue
That,
tinted it.
if there wasn't if you like if it wasn't like bordered square, I would not be able to tell.
Guys, I love the blue tint.
So yeah, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, these guys should be having a lot better matches than they do. And I'm not sure if it's the finish or if it's like just like if something's up with like chemistry or something or what.
They've
like,
had fantastic matches before.
Yeah,
Backlash was
this
pretty
was another case of a match that this was an even better case of a match that felt like it was just picking up, and then it just ended.
Well,
yeah.
this one was weird because like everyone looked confused when the ending happened.
Well, because the way I heard, like I've heard rumors that apparently the finish was very up in the air throughout the event. I've heard it said that Vince came up with the finish.
I'll give you the best recap I can from what I could remember of the finish. There's like a ref bump, and then he locks in the calf killer on Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens doesn't tap, so you don't got the heel tap, but the ref didn't see finish. And then Kevin Owens gets out, and then like AJ puts the lock in again, and then he gets out, and then when the ref like wakes up, Kevin Owens just rolls up AJ, and there's a 3 count, and they're both like, "What?"
Yeah, it's basically they had the most pointless ref bump in rest. Like it felt like what happens when you accidentally knock out the ref in like WWE 2K16, or like nothing comes of it, but it's you just like keep fighting
well,
the
you
match.
try to go for the chair.
You
The
know-
ref wakes up before you.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what?
that's kind of that's what
You
it
know
felt
what?
like.
Fucking opponent won't fucking go near you.
You know what it felt like to me when I saw it? Is it after thinking about it, I was like, was that? I actually wondered, was the ref buff even supposed to happen at all?
I think that what it sounds like from what I'm kind of like the drip feed of information coming from WWE backstage that I read on the internet, so I'm not sure how true this is.
Anything on the internet's true.
I mean, so
Especially if
like,
Raven says it.
Do not take this for insider knowledge because I don't have it. I haven't been to a WWE.
Your source
show
is that
live in
Dolphins
years.
guy.
Yeah, my source is a kid who wears a Roman Reigns backpack who walks up by my house for school every day. I ask him. That's how I get my WWE recaps. And so he told me that he was recently doing as what 13-year-old WWE marks do, reading the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and his reading of his hero Dave Meltzer, and apparently the finish was changed either a couple minutes before the match or during the match itself.
The ref does have an earpiece, so he might have just like and
Yeah, so the finish was changed, so I wouldn't be surprised if they had a plan for like a ref bump shenanigan finish, and then either
the thing that like
they went
confirm
back on it or
the thing that like confirms to me that this was some kind of mistake was the fact the next day AJ won the title back.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I think that there I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of if like there could have been miscommunication between the refs, like, but I really don't, or like maybe there was just a mix up, like Kevin was supposed to win by like DQ or count out or some bullshit like that, but like it was just a very there've been, I'm trying to think of like a more botched finish.
It's like they control Z'd that last match, and it's like, okay, let's try that again.
It was so weird. It was just, and it was the kind of thing where there was like so much confusion. It's like I almost would have wished that they
Like,
should restart.
apparently AJ looked pissed, and Owens just looked confused, and the ref was just like shrugging.
Okay.
Well, then that probably means that Owens was not win, and like either the ref fucked up or the bookers fucked up or there was a miscommunication. But either way, this
Owens adapted very, very fucking well, though. He
Oh, yeah,
immediately
but-
Owens
celebrate.
Owens does his best, even though he had a. Did I win? Wait, what?
Yeah, Owens.
He was like,
Owens
it,
is,
it was a split second of wait what, and then he was immediately covering.
Yeah, I win.
Kevin Owens is not one for exposing the business. I'm pretty sure that, and he's just very good at like adapting to these kinds of stuff. Like,
Ad-libbing, his ultimate skill.
I mean, that's the thing. If you can't ad lib as a wrestler, then I where you.
Hi, Roman.
Hi, like. I have a picture to gift to share. I'm not sure if you've seen this of Great Khali forgetting the taunt.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's just
Yeah,
like,
the
Hard
referee,
cam, asshole.
the ref having to.
and he's like,
having to-
raise your arms, you fuckhead, and he's like, ah!
Yeah, but yeah, this match. I mean, it doesn't help that like
Oh,
the finish was pretty bad, but like the match itself was just kind of okay leading up to it because I think Rocktan's point is very correct that there just wasn't enough time.
No,
Like-
this match should have gone 20 minutes, and it should have had at least like 3 indie finishers. It's like, it's like
could've
package
done
pile
what you
driver.
tried.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! And,
He hit a package pile driver off the top turnbuckle.
and
off
AJ
the
Styles
top
did
concrete.
a fucking spinal tap and fucking.
I'm like seriously pissed because, okay, they had the house match at Madison Square Garden, which I still will argue should have been shown on TV
Nah.
in some way, or on the internet, on the network, something. Come on, man.
They did that with Samoa Joe in the same venue, I think. No, I think it was Iowa.
I know they did that with now that I am going back to remember, now that Mega Fighter reminded me of Primo and Epico's historic tag team title victory. Apparently, they showed clips of that when
They
won.
beat Air Boom.
What's really strange is the segment showed they did have
After Air Boom.
the weird thing was the house show segment they did before this match, they did have cameras, and they did record AJ Styles winning. It's just it didn't air anywhere.
But
Yeah,
it
that
makes no
just seems like
sense. It's Madison Square Garden, for crying out loud.
It's actually not it's actually not that big of an arena.
I know,
it's
we
just
know
historically
that. That's
important.
not the issue. The point is, it's historic.
But
Like,
the-
there's no reason not to
I-
show it.
I heard that apparently,
Why?
like the reason that WWE hasn't had an event is apparently licensing, like broadcast fees in the Garden have gone up significantly since like they
Oh
were last
yeah,
there.
that's right. I remember
Like,
that.
what? Like
the
the
guy
Garden's
who owns
under.
the Garden has basically gouged the prices.
Yeah.
And
the Garden-
everybody is
it's-
telling him to go suck a dick.
Go
Yeah.
suck a dick.
Yeah, the broadcast you have to pay out the nose to broadcast in the Garden apparently. So I think I won't be surprised if WWE were like, oh, let's have a show in the Garden, and it's a house show, so we don't have to pay, but we can still film it. And then but then ran into issues when it came to like licensing fees and all that went from like the Garden itself. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think the New York Rangers are having problems with the guy in the Garden.
Don't
Oh my God, the Rangers play at the
I know. They're
fucking
running-
New
So-
York.
So this guy just doesn't want to make money ever.
No, he's so greedy that his greed is biting him in the.
Greed, man.
So
But
yeah,
none-
that's the thing
but
about greed.
nonetheless, this could have been by far the best match on the card, and then it just ends.
Yeah,
I got it. That referee tried to fuck on AJ.
It
referee
almost
tried to
seems like
fuck on
that.
me.
Who was the referee of that match?
God knows, it's probably Ryan Tran.
He looked. I'm not trying to be racist, but he looked Asian.
No, it was Ryan Tran.
How dare you point out?
You
race?
go home now,
Racist.
Dr. Tran.
Ryan Tran.
Okay, so also worth noting, apparently,
Oopsie.
just so you know, I feel like this is important information because I'm not sure if everyone got this. India has 1.3 billion people.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Just so you know, India has 1.3 billion people, and they all are rooting for Jinder Mahal.
Well, that's
Jinda.
great, but the next match is John Cena versus Rusev.
Yes.
The United States of America has 360 million people, and they are
Versus-
all rooting for John Cena.
Versus the biggest
No,
rival
I'm-
of all of American history, Bulgaria.
Yeah! Fucking
Oh,
Bulgaria.
God.
And just so you know, Bulgaria has
Like 30 million people.
Genuinely, I don't know Bulgaria's.
7,101,859 people, and they
Oh.
were all cheering for Rusev.
Yeah, go Rusev.
Yeah.
I was, when I remember the fucking Russian chain match they had, I thought that Rusev sucked, but I was wrong. Gimmick matches suck. The flag match sucked ass.
Rusev,
I don't think
Rusev, the problem,
I don't think it's that gimmick matches suck. It's just been these
Outside of a ladder
gimmick
or a
matches
cage,
don't work.
which gimmick matches work?
Okay, here's the thing.
Royal Rumbles.
There have been so many gimmick matches in the history of wrestling.
By the way, I think one of the biggest problems is one of the rules is very specific, and it's the fact that after you take the flag off the turnbuckle, you have to walk up stage and put it in a pedestal. When it should be, you should take the flag off the thing. You win.
It feels like they just added. It feels like they added that rule just out of
Yes.
nowhere.
Because if I can recall my
Every other one ends with, like,
encyclopedic knowledge of the classic flag matches,
You mean Ted DiBiase versus Unico?
yes.
Yeah. More 2012 WB.
Now I think that match it was just pull the flag off.
Yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
win.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm just gonna spoil the finish right away, so we can talk about this real quick. The finish is John Cena throws Rusev off
By the way,
the pedestal into two tables.
really
and then
funny
puts
thing
the
that
flag
happened
in.
there.
So
When fucking Rusev was setting up those two tables, I was doing my Rusev impression, and it was just like, I hope he doesn't AA me through these two tables.
You think? Okay, so like you think that no matter how often it happens in wrestling, it's always the
Because what's Rusev gonna do? Accolade him through the table?
I don't know. Like my thing is that
In an M. Dickey
whenever
thing,
wrestlers
that works.
set up any death trap, it always is them that goes through it. So like the question is, why are wrestlers still setting up tables? Like you think that they would be like, okay, it would be
Got
funny
two
because
code Devon.
One of my favorite spots, and when I say favorite, I mean I hated it, was when Rusev grabbed the American flag pedestal and whapped John Cena with it, and then gingerly put it back. It's like, I was like, fucking throw it!
Yeah, it's like don't you hate
that pedestal
America?
into the crowd.
Okay, so
They want another Brock Lesnar throwing a car door at a child thing.
I have a big speech prepared about gimmick matches that was interrupted. But basically, what I want to say is like we've had like all these shitty gimmick matches. And it's like you wonder why they haven't been used in the modern day. And it's like there's a very good reason because they suck.
And another
WWE won't do shouldn't do a scaffold match.
another thing I really hated was it was the fact that a flag weighs about 3 pounds, and they had the most difficult fucking time carrying that flag to the fucking pedestal.
Like I can buy not being so beaten up that you forget to climb a ladder.
Let's let Rob
I
go
can get
next.
that.
Yeah.
Like, oh sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, but like, I cannot buy you being so beaten up that you forget how to walk.
So, my biggest thing was, how much better would this match have been? Erase the ramp stipulation. If you just did it this way, they basically had their WrestleMania match over again, and then John Cena, AA's Rusev out of the ring through 2 tables and picks up the American flag.
Like either have the flags outside the ring. Either have the flags outside the ring and you hang it on a post, or have it hang on a post and you take it down.
Or even better, you just make this a no DQ match so you can have Cena throw him through 2 tables and win.
Yeah.
And let's open the other can of worms about this match. Thank you.
But just have like them throwing American flags at them so you know how American this is.
Of course.
Thank you, Party Time Goat on Reddit for this. But here is the list of rules of the U.S. flag joke.
Can I make a quick joke before I forget it?
Yeah.
I had this joke that John Cena reaches up for his flag and then pulls down like a Canadian flag, and like over his shoulder the camera zooms out a bit and Rusev's just fucking hurtling up the fucking ramp laughing his ass off. It's not the American flag!
Or he reveals that John Cena was really born in India this whole time.
You're a gender. No!
But
Oh my god, if in the middle of the match Rusev picked up a microphone and said something to send Cena into an existential crisis that he couldn't win the match.
America's not that great!
No, see, Rusev just gets on the mic and asks Cena, "Where is your birth certificate?"
and then
Rusev screams at it, "Your president is Donald Trump! You suck!"
No, I just like the idea of John Cena gets his birth certificate and he realizes that the whole time he was born in Kenya.
Kenya!
Oh.
And that was why the conspiracy theory was spread, because Donald Trump heard that John Cena was born in Kenya and got him confused with Barack Obama.
Because they look the same.
Yes.
Okay, so the rules of the U.S. flag code are as such. The flag should never be drawn back or bunched up in any way. This was violated. The flag should never be fastened, displayed, used, or stored in such a manner as to permit it to be easily torn, soiled, or damaged in any way.
Yeah.
Violated. The flag should never be stepped on. Violated. By John Cena.
Yes.
You stepped on your own fucking flag.
Yes.
Rusev didn't do it. Cena did.
Yes. John.
And the flag should never touch anything beneath it, which the flag touched the floor at least, like, it had to be a total of at least 5 times.
I was gonna say, is Cena gonna celebrate his win by lighting the American flag on fire?
I mean, you have to, because that's what you violated.
Nah, he has to
Zoidberg's
go
gonna
like.
run out and eat the flag.
I was about to say, he's gonna go full Zoidberg.
Freedom Day! Freedom! Oi!
John Cena's like throws the flag on the ground, wipes his ass with it.
Pull on Marilyn Manson.
He wipes his ass with it, says something about how much he loves Peña Nieto, and reveals that he's joining Mexican America.
What TNA?
The Zeb Coulter stable?
TNA?
Yes.
Not the TNA stable.
No, he's joining both. He's gonna be doing double. He's gonna become the new representative of. wrestling.
Which is really weird because everyone in that stable is in TNA except for Jack Swagger, who's not wrestling anymore.
Poor Jack Swagger.
Poor Jack Swagger.
Yeah.
At least he can go home to his stone cold fox of a wife.
God damn.
Woo.
So this match was slow. There were moves being done, but it was pretty much everything you've ever seen from a John Cena or Rusev match.
I'm going to slowly
nothing-
carry this flag. Oh, Rusev hit me. I dropped the
Nothing
flag.
nothing really new was done with it. The whole thing is entirely pointless to begin with, because why does John Cena didn't need to face Rusev in the first place? Like,
Because
they
America.
already had a feud,
America.
which John Cena won decisively every single match.
America.
He lost
Rusev,
once.
Rusev deserves better.
because
Rusev, by the way,
America.
can we talk about how great Rusev looks?
Rusev's great.
Oh,
Yeah, he looks good.
Rusev is the best.
Okay.
Rusev,
he
Rusev
won
has
one.
transitioned into full Zangief.
Yeah.
Gonna fight a bear next.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
I think
not only
Rusev would
that-
win.
And not only that, Rusev is doing his foreign heel gimmick again when we already have Jinder Mahal as a foreign heel.
Yes.
And he's from
I love how the
Bulgaria.
joke- I love how the joke circulating around Twitter was that Rusev versus Cena is Orton versus Jinder Mahal with good wrestling, and then they put them in this match.
Yeah, but I mean,
If you needed to give John Cena a match for Battleground, did it have to be? Rusev
Do you
for
think
this
flag matches suck, but like have always sucked? But the reason people liked them back then is because an antiquated view of wrestling, or do you think this flag match just really sucked?
This flag match.
I think
I
it's a
think it's a
mixture.
combination of both.
Yeah, this flag match really sucked, but like I also think that the flag match concept is not really one worth like trotting out every now and again. Like, I personally think that it's just that's a gimmick that should be left in the dustbin of history, alongside the coal miner's glove match.
What about the
and
tuxedo match or the blindfold match?
I mean,
also the reverse battle royal. The triple
Anything
tiered-
TNA tried.
King of the Mountain.
The triple tiered cage match that Hulk
Razor
Hogan and
Rambo.
Randy
Oh,
Savage
you mean the
fought.
one where David Arquette was in?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that one. What was the Doomsday Cage? That was it. The Doomsday Cage where they fought the Alliance.
The Doomsday Chamber of Horrors. Yes.
Yeah. Like I think if you want to do something like crazy and I don't know. I feel like if you want to bring back an old gimmick match, like make sure there's a reason besides just like, hey, we've never done this before.
Hey, we haven't done a flag match. Let's bring back the Yappa Pie Indian strap
we'll
match.
talk about the
Oh my
crown.
god.
Oh god, yeah. Texas Bull Rope. Let's have another WWE Bull Rope match.
I have an idea. Let's have another Punjabi prison match.
Oh, no. Hey guys, remember when Michael Cole and Jack Swagger fought Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler in a country whipping match?
Fucking.
Oh my god. I didn't remember that.
I think
They
Ali
should bring
just
that
did.
back.
Thanks, Mick, for bringing that back to me.
Now we'll have to watch that.
Never forget that happened.
I hate you now.
And you know what? I hate WWE for that.
You know, it's been
Watch
a couple
New Japan,
decades.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good night. No.
You know, it's been a couple of decades. I feel like we're due for another King of the Road match.
You know, to me, I personally want to see
Bunkhouse Stampede.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Kennel from Hell.
What I want to see is just two guys fighting a stable.
So, a bunkhouse brawl, yeah.
Yeah, Bunkhouse
Okay, that
Brawl.
was the bunkhouse brawl.
What was the
Yeah.
one? What was the one when they're both on a truck?
That was King of the
That was
Road.
King of the
Oh
Road.
fucking shit!
We
Fucking
need to-
Dustin Rhodes
I
and Barry
think
Windham.
I think that the Royal Rumble should be turned into World War III.
Oh, absolutely.
You know You know what they could have done is have Rusev beat the shit out of Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
What is he, a
Mojo
face?
Rawley even on SmackDown?
I'm pretty sure he is.
He re-debuted with Zack Ryder and then didn't wrestle again.
Good.
Well, well,
Yeah,
not only
and, like
that-
Mojo Rawley's not doing anything. Have him thrown in a match for Rusev. So
that's
I
actually
feel
a
like
question, kind of.
the sentence "Mojo Rawley's not doing anything" should always end with "good."
So here's the deal. Mojo Rawley. Speaking of that, why didn't they let Jinder Mahal win the Andre the Giant Battle Royale?
I don't know.
Baron Corbin was a way better choice.
Because Vince McMahon is not good at long-term planning.
That's
wait.
that's true. But
Wait,
like,
who won the
like
Andre Battle?
You don't say!
Mojo Rawley.
Rawley.
Oh, Mojo Rawley.
Baron
Wow, I
Corbin
totally forgot
Baron
about that.
Corbin won the last year.
Oh yeah,
He
What's
he
his-
threw out
Baron
Hideo
Corbin-
Itami and everyone got sad.
Yeah,
but it was
Like,
good because he's Baron Corbin.
I hate Baron Corbin. Just get over.
Go back to All Japan. Wait, that's actually the right. Is that the right? No, Noah's
No.
the right promotion.
I like Baron Corbin, but I can see why other people don't like him. So yeah.
If
I
you
just-
if
I
you've
hate his-
seen,
I'm just gonna say, no matter how good he gets, I'll never be able to forgive his hairline. And
He's-
I know that's like, I know that is like super.
Dean
superficial,
Ambrose.
Yeah,
Dean
exactly.
Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose
Dean Am-
is fighting that fucking hairline. He is giving it hell, and he's doing everything he can because that hairline's winning the battle.
Dean Ambrose also has a very unfortunate. I like Dean Ambrose a bit more just because.
Though to be
he's a
fair,
dork.
he's cheating because he combed all his hair forward. He's like, fuck it, I'm doing this.
Yes.
you know
The
one thing.
combo
One thing about the Rusev that I miss is I miss him doing his pre-match ritual thing that he did when he entered the ring. I liked that.
The kiss the
Oh.
mat.
Yeah.
I also wish he just kicked the shit out of people more because I love that fucking super kick he does. It's great.
He
Oh
should.
my God,
He should
what
get
a-
another fucking time.
Yeah. Well, I remember people saying that apparently the push Jinder got was originally supposed to be for him,
God damn it.
Yeah.
but then he got injured.
God damn it.
Yeah. Well, and like, think of how much better.
Remember when Jinder came back with the fucking like King of Peace gimmick where he's just like, but
Yeah.
that was so dumb.
Oh my God, the inner peace Jinder moment.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And he took a spot from fucking Heath Slater, and it made me hate him forever.
So
I don't remember
So,
this.
speaking of things that, I know this is a couple paragraphs back, but speaking of things from previous decades, the Fashion X-Files.
Oh yeah, this is the Fashion X Files.
Hold on,
All
I'm
the
not,
truth is out there.
I'm not at my computer yet. Hold on. I was resting.
I do
I-
quite enjoy. I do love the Fashion Police and Breezango.
I love
and
their
every-
parodies of TV shows.
like. Okay.
Tyler Breeze as Scully.
You know what? I also just realized we completely forgot about when we were talking about like who's the tag teams in WWE. We kind of forgot about Breezango.
Oh man, yeah.
Did we?
We
Well,
did.
Yeah, we kinda did.
Okay, well, they're kind of not at a. They're not at a place right now. They're kind of doing their storyline, and they're not at a place to
Yeah.
challenge for
Also-
the tag titles right
Also, I'm pretty sure they're faces. So like,
now. Yeah, they
Fairly
are.
certain.
yeah, or at least like, or they're not heels because like they're too damn.
Yeah, they
fun.
turn face.
They pretty much.
yeah.
They are
stopped
actually
doing,
entertaining.
Like they
Yeah, they are
stopped doing
extremely
the
entertaining.
insulting the crowd for not being as good looking as them.
Yeah,
Um,
because
They're just camp, and that's perfectly okay.
I feel like because I feel like when you actually look, like Tyler Breeze and Fandango, and like they're like, yeah, you don't look as good as us. Like, yeah, I don't. You look better than I do.
You're both fucking gorgeous, okay? I get it.
like you're both very attractive, and you both wear very good clothes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're better than me.
There is Rule 34 of these two, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh
Ah.
God.
Anyways, so this
Not
segment,
as big as the Shield. But
Oh, of course
So
not.
obviously a parody of the X Files. My favorite things are the things on the bulletin board.
Oh,
in the
yes!
background.
Our truth is out there.
Our truth is out there.
I want to
our truth
believe.
is out there.
I want to believe.
Oh my! See, that's the thing. That's the thing I love about these segments is that like how like they got their like own like they have the banter and all their like funny bits, but they also just like have all the like little background stuff that like with all the little references and shit. Which it's just it's very rare to
They
see
have a-
WWE.
They have a picture of Bigfoot with underneath it. The caption is George the Animal Steel with a question mark.
Oh yeah, and don't forget about unintelligent life form Tony Chimmel. I swear that's Chimmel.
No, I
And
think
that's-
he was under Man Fluke.
Man,
Linked to Fluke Man, which is a fish man.
Ah,
see, like, and that's the thing. It's like that. Like, it's very rare that WWE, when they try to do comedy, is like actually like not only just like first it's hard for them to be funny, but in this case, to be like hilarious is very hard.
I don't find the bit itself that funny. But the background, stuff is
great.
The background
It's
stuff is
great.
what I think makes it hilarious.
yeah.
The bit itself
And,
would just be like a.
I think what it is this is a case of another. It's SmackDown, and the writers are actually letting these guys write their own write their material.
Mhm.
You know.
There's a picture of Hornswoggle that says anonymous GM, and then stamped on top of that is debunked. There's a picture of, I believe, I can't tell for certain. It's either the Godfather or Rose Clay, and it says the Ghost Train.
You know,
It's
that actually
probably Godfather then.
come to think of it, that's one thing that actually makes that brings up a thought of that actually makes me fearful when I hope that when the Hardys finally beat that fucking owl, that they're on SmackDown so they can do their proper broken gimmick. Because
Yeah.
if they try and do that on Raw, they're gonna fuck that up so hard. They are not gonna have the freedom they need to pull that off properly,
Well, to be fair, Matt
unless
Yeah,
they're
probably.
extremely fucking lucky.
and Jeff probably at this point in their careers have the pull to say, "We're not fucking doing that."
Yeah, like they've made enough money and have in the wrestling world that they could threaten to walk and have WWE actually get mad about it.
It's like, oh shit.
Like they can lose certain like lower level talent, but like losing the Hardy Boys to like the independent circuit would piss off Vince McMahon a lot.
Yeah.
This segment also makes the Ascension relevant again.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of completely ruining a gimmick and lower level talent, the Ascension.
Oh.
Yep.
So the Ascension come out with their fucking badass face paint that they should have had when they first started. And they
Yeah.
say that they're the ones that attacked Breezango last week. But Breezango says that they couldn't have done it because the Ascension were at an Eddie Money concert last week.
Yes.
It's funny, but I'm also dying inside.
Paradise. Pack your bags and leave tonight.
Citizens arrest.
Just like Ronnie said.
See, now you know what? I mean, okay. So the question is, if the Ascension
night,
are
folks.
willing to go to an Eddie Money concert, what is the verdict on making that part of their gimmick now?
They're the biggest Eddie Money fans
I just
in
want them to be
WWE.
surf dudes with
They're
attitude at
secretly
this
the
point.
surfer dudes with attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like they have them. No, they're not just big Eddie Money fans. Have
They're,
a gimmick
they're putting
where they are-
they're putting on the gimmick of Ascension, but they just cut backstage and they're just jamming out to 80s music.
Speaking of jamming out the 80s music, you would make me mark out like crazy is for one of these Fashion File segments, the fucking Stan Bush the touch kicks in.
Oh man.
No, I would love if like the
If they
ultimate
can get the
blackmail
rights to
material-
it, do it. Fucking do it, WWE.
I would love it if the ultimate blackmail material that the fashion police uncover on somebody is them dancing with Rick Astley to
Oh no.
They're never gonna give you up.
Never Gonna Give You
Do,
Up.
do, 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 do.
So here's the thing.
I love that song, by the way.
I just
I'm
like
not
the
ashamed
I just
of
like
it.
the idea of
Me too.
them like of the fashion police just covering up old dirt, like finding like embarrassing old segments, like finding Zack Ryder singing Hootie and the Blowfish on Abraham Washington's talk show, and like stuff like.
Okay, they're not gonna bring up
I
that
just
W.
wanted to point out, every time Never Gonna Give You Up plays and I get rickrolled, I listen through the whole song.
It's a good song.
It's a good song. He's got a good singing voice.
Or you know what
Still
what they
does,
could
to
do,
this day.
considering now it's WWE and anybody can be anybody's son, they could easily have an angle where the Ascension does a life-changing announcement where it turns out Eddie Money is their father.
It turns out that all of Raw's roster is Kurt Angle's son. I fucked
No,
everybody.
guys,
It's true.
guys. No, it's not. It's not. It's just revealed that the New Day are Kurt Angle's sons.
Well, no, New Day are Mark Henry's sexual child.
No, see, okay, let's split the difference and say they're both it's both their sons.
By the way, we
How
just
does that work?
we just found out thanks to Smacking Talk, Chad Gable was Daniel Bryan's.
Even
Okay,
though they're
Chad
only
Gable is
5
Daniel
years
Bryan's
apart.
son.
He was a very virile 5-year-old. Okay.
Yes.
He
Yes.
donated to a sperm bank.
Yeah, Chad Gate. I mean, all I know is that apparently Bree is very supportive.
Yes, Bree is proud to be a stepmom. Chad Gable,
Yes.
which I would take that.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse than Chad Gable for a son.
I wonder if Derek Bateman is also Daniel Bryan's son.
No, he's Ethan Carter the second's son.
Oh, that's true.
True.
Whose father himself had vanished, apparently.
Yes.
The vanishing of Ethan Carter III.
So at the end of the segment, the fashion police get attacked, the lights go out, and Fandango gets dragged off into the abyss.
forgot that was the actual name of the kid.
The vanishing of Ethan Carter, yes.
Ethan Carter.
EC3.
There has to be a mod where all these are just EC3.
I love it.
Yes.
So,
I hope when Derek Bateman does get released by TNA, if he ever does, that we just
Do we want
the
to
titles
move on
refer
to
to
the
it.
the Punjabi prison?
Not yet.
Not yet.
we
We got
have
one more.
Sami Zayn versus Mike.
Oh, right. Oh my God. So it should already be clear with this match that I forgot that it was on this show.
How could you
Just what I
forget
thought
this?
It was okay.
All right.
Disgustingly short.
It was disgustingly short, but in those 7 minutes, they told a good story. I liked the match.
Maria interrupted in the match, but it wasn't too annoying, and you knew it was her gimmick and not just like, stop ruining the match.
Yeah.
Sammy
She
did.
had one spot.
Sammy needed
Well, she
a
had 2 spots. Actually.
Sammy needed a win, but for Mike Kanellis' first pay-per-view at WWE, him losing that fucking hard.
Yeah, that's the thing. He lost. This was a clean victory.
He got haluva kicked the fuck.
Yeah.
Here's the biggest problem when you bring him up, and he has this gimmick. He's discount Miz, and he's not as good as Miz.
I
by
don't feel like
far.
I don't feel like that's a fair comparison.
He has the same gimmick.
No, it isn't. Miz's gimmick is being a Hollywood like prick. Mike Kanellis' gimmick is basically like the equivalent of the dude eating cake and talking about how great cake is while he's eating cake, and you just want him to shut the fuck up about cake. Only just replace cake with love.
Okay, they're doing the power gimmick. power
Yeah,
couple
there-
gimmick that
Here's the thing,
made
like,
Maurice go.
the thing I remember the most about this match is the fact that there's apparently in storyline, Mike Kanellis worked at a greeting card at like a Hallmark store,
Oh my
and Mario Kanellis saw him and said, "I'm gonna make you a wrestler." And,
It's just sad. The best part about him is his wife.
yes.
Oh
Well,
my
that's
god,
'cause Mike Kanellis is not.
He just needs something he can stand on his own on that makes it so, like, let's say there's like a fake breakup angle and Mike's on his own. What's he got? You know?
I would say
Mediocre wrestling.
I would
Yeah,
say
he's a
his gimmick with Maria is they are the couple that, like, when you're out you're out in public trying to enjoy yourself, and then you like maybe you're at a restaurant.
PDAs.
They're PDA and they're talking in like baby talk all the time.
Oh,
And
Shinyogun.
you're just like,
Let me sum up-
gag.
Let me sum up what Mike Kanellis / Mike Bennett really is. Imagine a Ring of Honor mid-carder. That's it.
yeah.
I wouldn't even say Ring of Honor mid-carder because like at least some of the Ring of Honor mid-carders have massive moves.
No, here's what I'm saying about the Ring of Honor mid-carder comment. Almost all of Ring of Honor's guys, with the exception of a few guys like Dalton Castle,
Go Dalton
went
Castle.
away from Ring of Honor, got a personality away from Ring of Honor, and came back with a personality.
And it's like, that guy got a personality. He's good now.
Big example, Jay Lethal. Who is now probably in the top 5 wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
And he's still selling knee braces. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because his knees hurt.
Is he still in Ring of Honor?
I think so.
I think he's still
he's
the world
still there.
champ, right?
I'm surprised
No, he's not.
that
No.
I'm surprised that no one's
Cody's the world champ.
I'm surprised that like either Japan, WWE, or TNA aren't making. Well, he's been
Well,
in TNA,
the thing
so
about Jay
probably not
Lethal
going back,
is,
but-
I think he's happy where he is right now.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised no one's making him a very lucrative offer.
Yeah.
I feel like WWE's roster is, I think, a little too stacked right now.
NXT's pretty stripped down right now.
I mean,
Well, they have Chris Hero in a really ugly jersey.
Adam Cole's is going to be debuting on them there soon,
Oh, fuck
I
yeah.
know that.
as is Kyle O'Reilly.
They also have
I'm not
Roger
as
Strong,
thrilled
king of
about
the Backbreakers.
Roderick Strong, oh my god.
Roderick Strong.
He's the best person in Raw.
But yeah,
Please don't watch this, Roderick Strong.
as for Japan, I don't think Jay would want to work for TNA again, considering how they just didn't use him properly at all.
No.
Like the only thing that I think really they did right by him was the impressionist stuff.
Like, the thing about TNA is it's like you found the Dead Sea Scrolls and then you used them as a coaster. That is TNA.
they have wasted the amount of talent that they've wasted is absolutely like astounding.
Yeah.
The really weird thing is how good that they did with EC3.
Yeah, EC3 is a bizarre.
It's weird because it was entirely a TNA thing, but they did it and it worked.
Yeah, yeah. EC3 is, I think, the only properly utilized talent that TNA is like has. He's the only one that they haven't screwed up. Yet.
Yeah.
Like
Didn't they turn him face?
they did.
They did,
Well, like,
because it was inevitable. But
well.
Well,
they-
everyone likes him,
but
so
they-
fuck it.
Well, oh wait, so I actually I think if I remember correctly, he turned face in a double turn with Matt
With
Hardy.
Matt.
Yeah.
And Rockstar
Big
Spud.
Money Man.
And Brodus Clay.
Yeah, that
oh
too.
yeah, we forgot about him. Anyways,
Yeah.
this match was okay.
It was kind of a SmackDown match, really.
Yeah, it was.
I did like the constant like Maria Kanellis running up to the turnbuckle because Sami Zayn was about to suplex Mike into it.
I have a question though. Do you guys hear anything?
I don't worry, I hear it.
No.
Okay, I was just wondering.
All right. It's just like Maria would just come up and just be like, no, you can't do that.
No, you're not allowed. Fuck you. Don't fucking suplex my boyfriend, asshole.
I mean,
Or
I was
husband.
gonna say, Maria.
My husband.
Maria, if you don't want to see your husband getting beat up, then why did you make him a wrestler?
I also think
You gotta get a hallmark some way.
They blew left
Yes.
kisses to each other, and then like Mike used the same fist to punch Sammy in the face, or as I dubbed it, the pow right in the kisser.
We can't put this off any longer. We have to get to it.
Yeah.
But
Please.
Jinder Mahal versus
God damn
Randy
it.
Orton in a Punjabi prison match.
I don't think anyone.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh.
okay.
God.
Okay, so okay, I guess I'll start by saying I expected this match to be bad because the last two Punjabi prison matches
I've
were
heard
awful.
people tell me give this a chance, but one of the biggest problems is with there's like 4 doors to the inner cage to the outer cage, and it's open for 60 seconds. So 3 spots of the 4 were I'm gonna go through that door, and the other guy like, no, I won't let you.
Yeah.
And it was dull.
Yeah. It was really
And for
boring.
some reason, the Singh brothers kept saying they weren't allowed at the match, despite the fact they showed up anyway, and no one got in trouble for it.
Yeah, that was again.
By the way,
That was
Singh brothers are great, though I gotta admit, one of their haircuts is off-center, and it's kind of weird. It's like, you gotta get your hair fixed, man.
Both of them have shitty haircuts. Let's not beat around the bush here. I hate their haircuts.
The thing is, like, so the Punjabi prison, the structure itself is very
Gender and
poorly
gender
defined
security.
because nobody can like. It's the kind of thing where like you look at pictures from people's seats in the arena and it's like they can't see anything.
They can't fucking see! Like,
There was a picture that was posted recently.
it was a
that
picture
showed-
of, like, Randy Orton and Jinder in the center of the ring, and
Doing
you
a
couldn't
headlock.
fucking see them.
Well, so the one I'm actually thinking of is even worse. It's like it's somebody who's sitting like a bit further up, and it's a picture of the prison, and then they tweeted, "You might not know this, like you might not be able to see this, but there are 4 people in the ring right now, and you can't see anyone."
Oh my god. It got a...
I must. You guys kept saying I can't.
Well,
Roxanne,
Roxanne, please, Roxanne.
No. Hang on.
No.
Hang on, let me finish my thought. I, for the most part, could see all right for them. I thought the camera guys did the best job they could on making it at least
Well,
most.
what happened was...
sort of make it out. The only problem was when they went to hard cam.
Oh
Then
my
you
God,
couldn't
hard
see
cam.
anything.
Well, the problem was the tight shots they did where you can tell they're physically leaning the camera through the cage. Was if any of them moved, the camera would be blocked by a giant blurry bamboo.
Yeah, and there's also
So it was only good for like chin locks.
what I was referencing also in terms of like people like not being able to see was for the live audience, like the people who spent $100 to see this show, like,
Looking
can't
straight
see
up
this.
to crane their neck at the Titantron because they can't see the match.
Yeah. And
They
frankly,
should've done
it's
That's
like,
exactly what I was saying. Like you designed this match is really.
This is the least consumer-friendly match if you want to pay for something I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You literally have a match.
Let's
where
have a
there's
match
no
with-
way that anyone in the audience can really watch the ring.
Let's have a match with all the lights
Everyone
out.
has to- everyone has to like watch a screen, and like you know what they should have done for this match? They should have done everyone TV screens in front of them. Seriously, like instead of having to crane their neck.
little monitors.
Or they can have my
Yeah.
idea and make it so like that outer hexagon part of the Punjabi prison's there, but the inner cage isn't. It's sort of like a half, like Hell in a Cell half cage
Yeah,
match.
it's like Yeah, then then it's more like a Hell in a Cell. So like, the thing is that just as well that they can't see anything because the match is fucking terrible.
It was terrible.
They have those ridiculously complicated rules for the inner cage, where a wrestler has to call for the door to open, and then the door can only be open for 60 seconds,
and then it's closed forever.
And then it closes forever if they don't get out. What the fuck is that nonsense?
And so that's some stupid bullshit right there.
And here's some other fucking bullshit. Okay, so Jinder escapes on the 4th door opening, and then he starts climbing the outer cage. Orton climbs the inner cage and hops to the outer cage, and now he's ahead of Jinder.
Yeah.
So he could just leap over and win.
Yeah. Climbing out of the inner cage is actually the easier way. These wrestlers were making their own lives harder, and then not to mention, when Randy Orton was ahead of Jinder, he climbs down to fight Jinder more instead of just trying to make a beeline out of the Punjabi prison.
That and the Singh brothers showed that is entirely physically possible to slip through the cage.
Yes.
So if you have the right body type, you can slip.
Or you can just have your arms over your head, maybe.
Look, I think Orton can make it through that fucking.
Orton probably could if he tried hard.
Maybe not Jinder with his weird, vein scarecrow body.
It was almost when Great Khali came out.
What? No, don't spoil it.
We'll get to that.
He nearly pulled Orton out of the cage.
Yeah, like that is, and the thing about this match is that like. And it shows just exactly what happened. Like these two guys were not having a good enough match, and I would personally say, are not at a level of like talent-wise that the gimmick basically absorbed the entire match.
They're both too slow, and the gimmick made the match worse, not better.
Yeah,
Orton is talented enough; he just doesn't give a shit.
I don't know. But like,
I don't think it's just that. What the thing with Orton is the best matches he has against high flyers or guys that can like run around.
Like Seth Rollins, that match was pretty good.
Yeah, that match has been like it's when he wrestles like a semi-slower paced guy or a big guy that the match sucks.
Mostly because Orton's trying to like play this methodical, meticulously placed person, but it makes the other guy look painfully slow.
Yeah,
I seem to remember liking Hall of Fame Mark Henry versus Randy Orton, but that was mainly because I wanted Mark Henry to chill, and then he did.
Mark Henry killing people is a good thing.
The biggest problem I think with a lot that like he's a face, so he's supposed to look better than the heels. But I always just get like a smug asshole sense where it's like I don't want him to look better. Like that thing, it's like he fights like a heel, but they still apply the same thing of being a face.
Here's another thing that's an entire problem of WWE's international market. The fact that body language wise, neither of them were allowed to act face or act heel. Because in India, Jinder's a face, so he can't do anything that's too mean or cruel, or the Indian fans will betray him or turn on him.
The question becomes, why not just have Jinder be a face?
Yeah, he's funny enough. I've seen him do funny things.
If anything, Jinder would probably work better as a face, because so then he wouldn't have to hit the whole "you people don't like me because I am Indian.
I'm brown, despite the fact we have good relations with India."
I haven't seen that as part of his character. I actually think the one thing I actually like kind of about Jinder Mahal's character is he's kind of a semi-unique foreign heel. Or at least I haven't heard of this being done
Muhammad
before.
Hassan.
Well,
I don't think he's had mass terrorists or anything.
Let me finish. Is that he's fighting? His gimmick is that he's fighting for the pride of his country.
That's a lot of foreign heels.
Iran #1, America 3.
Fucking Iron Sheik did that.
It
Great.
seemed what the like with Rusev's coming back. It was more. It wasn't just. It wasn't. It was less of he was fighting for his country pride instead of America sucks. That was literally that's what I got from his side.
I think though that like what Ali brings up a good point is that like the idea of a foreign heel is completely incompatible with the goal of trying to have get big in a foreign market. Like your product is going to suffer if you don't actually try to.
He needs a character that
make the big guy that you want to be the big face a face.
He needs a character that everyone could understand, no matter what language it's in.
Exactly.
Also, the history of the WWF, the WWF, and the WWE has always been built on the back of an ethnic babyface champion.
Really?
Bruno Sammartino, Pedro Morales, The Rock. I'm missing some in there.
Hogan's Irish, or at least Hogan was played up as Irish.
Yeah, Hogan's played up as Irish. Yeah, Hogan.
You got like to a lesser extent, I would say Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Jimmy Snuka.
They're an ethnicity.
So WWE has always been built on that. In fact, that's pretty much the reason that Vince McMahon is so big on Roman Reigns, because he's the ethnic babyface. Except he's not.
Because everyone hates him.
Yes.
Because his character's super.
Murder a man.
He tried to kill a guy.
I want to actually go back.
They've never had a.
I want to go back to that for just a second. I want to just. I was thinking to myself, well, comparatively speaking, what Braun did to Roman is that would you consider that equal in terms of attempted murder, or was he just trying to cripple him and take him out?
Probably just cripple him and take him out.
Braun doesn't care. Braun doesn't care about personal grudges. He just wants to fuck people up and yell his name.
He did tip. He threw. He did. You know, beat. He didn't just beat Roman. He fucking took. He took Roman while he was on a gurney and flipped him off a.
Yeah, but that would really kill a man, though.
And then he tipped the ambulance over with Roman.
No, but here's the thing. It's not quid pro quo. He's the face is supposed to be better than that.
What? Why are we talking about Braun?
I'm not. I was just trying to.
He wasn't on the show.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about better wrestling.
I was just asking.
No, just imagine this situation. I didn't like the fact that Edge beat up my dad, so what I did was the John Cena way, and I set his house on fire.
I beat up his dad.
I killed his dad.
Look, the reason we're talking about Braun Strowman is because Braun Strowman is amazing. You should always be talking about Braun Strowman.
Talk about Braun. No.
I guess my question is, what would you consider what he did attempted to murder because they made that joke for the comic?
Relatively speaking, I think
for bot spot, I couldn't think of the name.
The tipped ambulance.
Well, he stopped at the tipped ambulance. He didn't. Yeah. When he saw that Roman was okay, he didn't come back to finish the job.
Yeah. And as Ali pointed out, faces aren't exactly supposed to try and murder people. At least not nowadays.
Maybe Stone Cold, but Stone Cold got away with it because it was Stone fucking Cold.
Well, also because Stone Cold was doing it to Vince McMahon.
He was just doing it to fuck with Vince.
And Vince McMahon, you could say with his character, kind of fucking had it coming. You know?
Oh,
he was a dick.
Kind of I guess this is also just a general problem that I have with how WWE does faces and heels. I feel like it's almost like they're forgetting how to do a feud, almost. Because
yeah.
You get something like And you can go back to like, well, like this for instance, why is Randy Orton fighting Jinder Mahal again when he already lost the rematch?
Did
And
he lose the rematch?
He lost the rematch.
yes, he lost the rematch at Money in the Bank.
Oh, that was the. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
he
was
like
the rematch. I'm sorry.
yeah. The thing, Jinder Mahal's title reign.
I forgot.
Like the simplest thing of a feud is the two things the characters want can't coexist, so they fight over it.
Yeah,
Be it
but
a
it's like-
belt, a person, a situation.
But with this feud, I feel like it's just this has been a feud that has been going on for several months, and it's just it has not progressed from its beginning. It has not grown in any way. Like they were talking about how the Punjabi prison is the most dangerous match in WWE history. It's like I think the fuck not. Like
No,
Hell
they
in a
actually
fucking
say,
cell.
did they actually
Bullshit are
say
you
that? Were they
Yes.
hyping it that way? Oh
Yes.
my god! Wow.
they hyped it.
Hell
you know,
in a
like
fucking.
And then they brought back Great Khali.
yeah. And the thing is
Oh.
that my issue with this is that you have them fighting in what is allegedly the most dangerous match in WWE. But the only thing I can think of that like why they're feuding is that Jinder beat him for the title.
And Randy
And he beat him
Orton
again.
is upset
Well,
about that.
I
And it's like-
think the storyline reason for Randy Orton getting another shot is the constant interference by the Singh brothers.
Yes, but like if you want constant interference from the Singh brothers and then they interfere, it doesn't make any sense.
Gender
Like,
and gender security.
and also just like this whole Singh brothers thing, it's like they've been booking that terribly too because it's not like they put their hands on Randy and ruin his chances. They just show up, Randy chases at them and beats them up, and then loses sight of Jinder.
And then
Jinder
gender
beats
like
him.
ambushes him and wins.
Yeah, like they're making Randy Orton look stupid, honestly. Where he's like, "Hey, get back here, Indian men who are in this match." blah."
Smaller Indian men, big Indian men attack.
And
Big
and then,
Indian
like,
man summons really big Indian
and
man. Really?
And as for like this, and for this really big Indian man, yeah, the Great Khali came back, and you know that you booked a terrible show when the crowd's biggest pop was for the Great Khali.
I don't want this. I don't
Or
want
as
this in
Kid
any
Ellie liked to
capacity.
call this,
No!
Yeah, it was the thing. Like there was a lot of like I heard some cheers in the audience. Like, there was more.
This killed me, and I was like extremely tired, and I broke down crying during the show.
I was laughing in his
It
misery.
was just like so. The Great Khali coming back. Do they expect him to wrestle? He can't do that.
He's back. He's fat, and his legs are fucked.
He looks so out of shape.
as Ali just said, I was looking at his old Titantron, and I was like trying to think, did he always look like this? And I was like, he kind of did, but no, he definitely put on some weight since he came back. Like he has like a beer gut at this point.
And it's so pathetic because like you know the only reason they're trying to bring him back is because Great Khali is still fairly popular in India, so
Especially
they're trying to-
during the commentary.
yeah, because the Indian commentary
Great Khali!
is hilarious. It was like, but like the thing is that they're just want Jinder to basically swim in the Great Khali's wake so that he could potentially get over.
Ratings, get
Which to
ratings,
me-
gender.
Which to me is kind of embarrassing because that means like, oh, this guy's not getting over by himself. And
Being
like,
Indian is literally all you're worth. Despite,
yeah, it is,
and that's a shitty
and
thing to
that's kind of my
peddle.
and that's kind of my biggest problem with this whole thing because everybody defends. Oh yeah, it's okay because they're like trying to start business in India. It's like, but so literally, it's like if Jinder Mahal was not Indian, he would not be in this position. He is just
That literally means he has not earned this at all, and that's really sad.
Did they honestly think by having Great Khali come out that it would get Jinder more over? No, the only person that gets over is Great Khali because
I mean, and that's the thing.
It's like a giant return.
It's the kind of thing that what they're trying to do with this India shit is there's so many problems with it because first of all, they only have 4 Indians on the entire damn roster. Like with the Great Khali now being added in. Like you can't really if your only Indian that they can rely on is Jinder Mahal and the Singh brothers, then you maybe are not in a good state to start a
Especially because they're heels.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
like,
faces in India.
like when you think about like I hate to bring up New Japan because like I feel like all anyone does when people shit on WWE. Well, like New Japan is like doing a US expansion right now and they have a lot of like US guys on their payroll and they're like working with ROH so they have like a talent exchange going on and they're like really setting it up so that they have a lot of US talent and like Western talent to rely on because Kenny Omega's I keep forgetting is not from the US.
He's from Canada.
But no, he's Canadian, which is worse. But
Canada's
it's the kind of thing
hat.
where it's like to expand, you need more than 4 heels. You need to, and
I mean, if they're so desperate for Indian wrestlers, isn't Sanjay Dutt Indian?
Yeah.
Just go get Sanjay Dutt.
Go find
Well, I
Sanjay
mean,
Dutt and give him some money.
And I mean, and here's the other thing:
Probably
it's
wants
like,
to get away from GNA.
like throughout this whole push, when I think of like, oh, Jinder's like they're pushing him because they want, and that's good because you know like Indian business. It's like, but why Jinder? Like if this was the kind of thing, it's like we want business in India, put the brown guy. Like, couldn't they have found like what would there be any difference if they found another wrestler?
Oh, there was another Indian guy who was part of James Storm's stable. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Koya.
Koya, yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah, basically like finding better Indian
Better
talent
than the
Jinder
Great
Mahal.
Khali, though.
Yeah, like you could have the Great Khali around as like a man. I guess the mascot for like, this Indian expansion because he is still big in India. But like, I don't understand why WWE is just gonna put the belt on Jinder Mahal and thinks that's all they need to do to get big in India. Maybe it might be. I don't know. I don't know how Indian wrestling fans are reacting to it, but I would.
Great Khali!
I would not be even a little bit surprised if this hasn't moved the numbers the way they wanted it to because they're half-assing this.
Yeah, they're not
Like-
going full. They're not going full pony.
Like if they want to start to expand it to India, they could just reform Ring Ka King.
Well, what I think they should do is do like the Indian equivalent of the UK Championship Series.
Yes.
Highlight a fuckload of Indian wrestlers and have the best
Exactly.
ones on WWE's main show.
So
Exactly. I think that would be a
I
great
have a
idea.
question. I have a question. Was Davari ever a wrestler, or is he
Yes.
always a manager?
He's
Davari
he's
was a
on
wrestler.
he's
I
on
don't think
he's
Indian.
he's on
He's not
20.
Indian.
He's not Indian.
Indian.
He's on 205
he
Live
is an
though.
Indian. I thought he was.
Yeah,
No,
no,
he's like-
Sean Daivari was
he's
born in Minneapolis.
so
Okay.
here's my
I think he's of Arab
Minnesota.
descent.
here's the they're doing the opposite of this, and I hope they continue to do. Ben Wang,
Ben Wang.
WWE's first Chinese signing, has not had a match in NXT yet. He was signed last year.
He's training.
They are training the shit out of him because they want him to be big. They are desperate. They want their first attempt at Chinese expansion to work.
Yes.
What about Ho Ho Lun?
So,
He's from Hong Kong. It's different.
Yeah.
Hong Kong is very American or / British.
Like, it's a very westernized
Yeah.
city.
so
There's a lot of people just like Jimmy Chow and the equivalent, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And also, like, in Hong Kong, I don't think they speak the same language as in China.
Cantonese versus Mandarin.
Yeah.
Oh.
So go ahead, Rob.
So my question is, why don't they do similar things with their Indian? Well, I know they want to capture right now, but
Because I think it's a problem with WWE that has already show, and I think will be the Achilles heel that will keep hampering them creatively, financially, and whatever for, I don't even know, until Vince McMahon dies, maybe even longer, depending on how Triple H does things.
Can they
But,
just
like, basically, WWE doesn't do enough long-term planning.
They have
feel
shit writing.
And I don't remember where I read it. Like, it was something that was mentioning about how WWE's philosophy. It's like one of their wrestlers, like, and it was a pretty like prominent wrestler, was saying like WWE likes to work really fast, and they will sometimes push people before they're ready, or they'll sometimes like see the future in somebody and then just like run with it immediately without
Bobby
taking the
Lashley.
time to build. Yes, I think
Well,
that
considering how Triple H is working with NXT, I don't see him doing.
He does have mistakes, but they're not big mistakes.
Can I mention that?
I can see once Vince retires or Vince dies or whatever the case, once he takes over the reins, which he probably will,
Roman Reigns.
that he'll just take his NXT, he'll take some of his NXT system over to the main show and make it work there.
Can I say that? By the way, brief derail.
Brief.
Google is racist because I googled WWE Chinese wrestler, and let me list the first 5 image results that come up.
Oh no.
Bin Wang with Triple H.
Hey.
Bin Wang with Triple H. Shinsuke Nakamura.
oh my god.
Are you Chinese or Japanese?
three Chinese wrestlers in the Performance Center. Antonio Inoki.
You know, okay.
Less
I
long
also
if you
looked
landed
up-
the picture of Jimmy Wang Yang.
Okay, so
Also, Jimmy
also-
Wang Yang is in there too.
so-
Yoshi
Oh
Tatsu.
wow!
okay, no, so I looked up WWE Chinese wrestler. You know who I got? I got Bin Wang, Shinsuke Nakamura, Antonio Inoki, Kenta,
Kenta!
Tajiri, Funaki,
Funaki!
Hideo Itami.
Jimmy Wang Yang,
Good.
Funaki,
Good God!
Takamichi Inoku, John
Melina.
Cena.
Wait, John Cena?
John Cena
John Cena.
apparently knows perfect Mandarin now.
Yeah, he doesn't know a lot, but he knows some.
He knows pretty good Mandarin. He can rap.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
that's not Melina. That's Lena Yada. Who the fuck
He's
is
still
that?
learning Mandarin.
Lena Yada, she was a diva. So she might have been in a diva search or something, or she did like announcing.
She's also Japanese. Hawaiian.
Oh, of course.
Wait, hold on. She's
I like how we're
no, she's
derailing our own
American, but
derails.
she's of like Hawaiian Japanese descent, I think.
Mixed. Okay.
I like how we're derailing our own derails.
Yeah.
Also, I like how we haven't talked about the only 2 good things about the Punjabi prison match.
Was it all the
yeah.
was it all the
that-
gender
that-
puns we made before the show?
No, not
Yeah.
those. The
Samir Singh
of all
almost
the
died.
numerous problems with this match we've already explained, I think the I mean, a little Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal in a regular match wouldn't be very good.
Oh, here's
But
a plus. The
they're
table bump was cool.
They're completely hampered by this gimmick, and at least the Cena versus Rusev match, they did moves. There were barely any moves. There were just so much slow brawling. It was just one of the biggest slogs you've ever seen in your life in terms of a wrestling match.
One of
Just,
the highlights.
ugh.
One of the
And-
highlights of the match
And Mega
for
Fighter
me.
and Mega Fighter said something. It's like they could have fixed this by just taking out the inner cage and making it like a.
That was
Actually,
my
that was Ali
idea.
said
That was
Actually,
Ali.
that was Ali who said that.
Oh, I don't.
Bitch, you
alright,
forgot me?
Motherfucker, I was getting to a point about the highlights of the match.
I was
which
going to say this is one of the worst intergender matches I've ever seen.
God damn it.
I needed one.
I would say. I'm just gonna say, as someone who identifies as gender fluid, in that I'm not sure what I think about gender. Also, it changes based on the day to day, and also like Jinder Mahal, I'm also taking steroids
Some days-
to reach my ideal body.
Some days
I
I
would
wear
say
my
that the-
turban.
Some days I like gender, some days I hate gender. It's all up in the air. But one of the things that I will say is the highlight for me was hearing from, and this is something I heard from Wrestling Observer Radio, is that there was apparently during the main event scores of fans walking out of their seats down outside of the arena to the ticket office to buy tickets for the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And just like the fact that it's so funny, the fact that they thought that this main event was so unengaging that they're like, I'm gonna go and buy tickets, but then it was tickets for the same company that was putting on this unengaging, boring match.
That's WWE's fans for you. I quit. I'll be back in a month, and I'll buy the game.
To be fair, at least you can fucking see the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That's true, but it's still just, it's like, it makes me wonder, like, a lot of people...
Hey, I want to see him point at the WrestleMania sign. That's...
Yes, okay.
It is, yeah. And it's just kind of one of those weird things. It's like, yeah, WWE fans, it's almost like a weird abusive relationship type thing where it's like,
It really is.
I can't believe you've done this to me. I'll be back in a week. Because
Unfortunately, they're the biggest game in town, and to a lot of people, they feel like the only game in town, even though there's other companies out there.
Which is
that,
weird.
like,
in
New
Philly.
Japan's given it a shot. I hope they
and
succeed.
of course, who could forget the greatest wrestling company on earth, Juggalo Championship Wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's always there.
No, Mick, you're forgetting Juggalo Extreme Wrestling or Jew.
Shout out to all my Jews out there. Wait, no, never...
Okay, but also Samir Singh almost died in this match, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, he
Also,
fucking
the cat
he
died,
fucking
dude.
bounced, dude. That was fucked up.
Just a Mankind table bomb.
I hope he's okay.
Also,
I hope
the
so too.
also
That was
the
the only cool spot of the entire match.
I admit, I was sad, and I was just kind of like, and then he fell through the table, and I was like, that was cool. And then I went back to, and then the colleague came out, and I just started screaming.
It was several no's and Y's.
And
for
then,
Kelly.
God damn it, in that order.
I will also say that the kendo stick stuff was actually pretty good too.
Yeah.
I don't think I can speak on this match because I'm cisgender, but
My reaction was more of a like, what the fuck am I? What the fuck is this? I can't believe this is happening.
I do admit I also have some gender dysphoria about this match, but I'm a liberal. I can make those jokes.
I'm surrounded by all these gender queer people. Drives me nuts.
This show sucks.
Okay.
so I'm
I
gonna
feel
go back to pointing out Google Images Chinese. Batista.
Batista, yeah.
wait a
From
minute, I see Drew
Greece,
McIntyre
from
here.
Greece, China.
Wait a minute, I see
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre over here. Also,
Also-
there's a picture of Buddy Murphy.
Also, my favorite of all of these, China.
China.
Oh, I just got that. That's horrible.
Aw, Joni. Rip.
The only redeeming factor of this match is if you could watch this match and listen to the Hindi commentary with like subtitles, because the Hindi commentary was.
I love all the
hilarious.
excuses they came up that made Jinder a good person. It's just like Jinder's loyal friends taking the hit for him, and Orton being a meanie, shithead meanie, and
And of course, their pop to the Great Khali is the best thing. Like, he's zooming.
the Great Khali.
Wait a minute, one of these pictures is Victoria.
I don't know anymore.
Slowly
I
less
feel
and
like
less
we've.
Chinese.
I feel like we've kind of. I think the train has long since skidded off the rails, and we're now just on
Yeah.
a collision course with a waterfall.
This pay-per-view sucked.
And what's what was surprising is that it's like, and which is it kind of goes back to the whole thing not being the actual SmackDown writer and being Road Dogg or whoever the hell it was that booked this. SmackDown was such a much better show than
It went back
was
to
actually,
it like did a reset.
it was way more sensibly booked.
And you know what? I'm gonna just say that, like, I mean, year's not over. Anything can happen, but I hope that this is the worst pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah.
Because all things considered,
I hope there's only up from this.
Because if there's anything worse than this, we're entering Victory Road in terms of, or like, and like, we're entering like Halloween Havoc 2000 territory.
Well,
Was it 99 or
the upside
2000?
is that Jinder Mahal can't possibly get any bigger.
Jeez, that's where you're wrong.
Jinder Mahal's gonna pull in Akira at some point.
I just wonder when he's gonna go full warlord. Someone's gonna pump him, and they're just gonna they can't get the needle in. It's like, Jinder, you're full.
Yeah. So wait, let me.
I think at some point somebody's gonna like he's gonna fall and attack and like just go.
And then he's back to 3MB Jinder.
There's gonna there's just gonna come a point where like they're going to spear him and then suddenly his bitch tits will finally like reach their final form and just like
And he has to wear a sweater like The Rock.
yeah, exactly, because he needs to hide his D cups.
Obviously, guys, he's going through the Taguro transformation. So
This is only 30% of his true strength.
what's gonna happen is that Randy Orton is gonna hit him so hard that he deflates into a really skinny guy, and then he's gonna bulk up to his full power form, which is going to be just like this form, except even more veiny
Oh no!
and with awesome
Oh
shoulder
no!
pads.
Can't imagine anything veinier.
Oh my god, that sounds terrifying.
And it's gonna it's gonna be worse than the Philadelphia crowd. They're actually gonna be dead because he's sucking the souls out of all of them.
That's what
I hope that Jinder is okay health wise, just because like I don't want like.
I don't want him to turn into Scott Steiner.
Well, I mean, Scott Steiner is honestly the best possible outcome with steroid
Like
use.
like
I
sad
don't
Scott
want him to
Steiner.
die.
Like, you know what I mean?
Jinder's final form.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Isn't that? Oh god!
That's
That's Taguro
It's the
from
Guru from
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
fucking.
Yes, I'm a fucking weeaboo.
Yeah,
You
fucking
forget
weeaboo.
that the girl had a final form after the final form where he got even bigger.
Oh yeah, this of course. I was trying to give you guys some degree of hope, but of course, there's always this form, the final form.
This is
Which
Jinder
none of
when
the
he.
big viewers have seen.
This is okay.
Yeah, just
so
paint that
the
brown,
final form-
and you got
the
your
final
best
form is
idea.
when Jinder wins the Royal Rumble and main events WrestleMania.
Man, he's got
And
no
the final-
neck.
And the final form is when Jinder jumps ship to New Japan Pro Wrestling and defeats Okada in 2 minutes.
What? Fuck. Right. Oh,
Yeah,
are
just
you
paint. Yeah,
fucking kidding me?
just paint both of these brown, and you have Jinder Mahal.
So, just please don't watch this. Please.
Dude, if he went to New Japan, he would get destroyed.
Don't watch it, whether
Like,
it be for
the
free
entire
or
the entire Bullet Club is just gonna like fuck, like just
Yeah,
send him packing.
Jinder squashes the entire roster. Everyone will die
Quite
and
literally.
to New Japan Pro
So
Wrestling.
when you say don't watch this, do you mean the pay-per-view or do you mean the
No,
C
we
show?
means this review.
Okay.
But it's too late,
Yeah,
fuckers. We already have
don't
it.
watch the TV show either.
Uh, Any final words?
Fuck this show. Seriously.
And
Fuck
this
the
review as
revival.
well.
But I really have nothing else to say. This pay-per-view sucked.
There is one true Jinder. Good night.